Welcome to another episode of Bucket List Coach Web TV. Well, hello. This is Cindy, your host over at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. Make sure that you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so we can see your comments, as we need both of the platforms to connect. So a little bit about the show. It's all about making the most of the dash. So you may ask, what is making the most of the dash? There's a day that we are born and there's the day that we pass away. What are you doing in between that time? And this show was inspired also by Anthony Bourdain. He was a chef and then went into travel and broadcasting later. So I kind of followed in his steps. So really quickly, I'm an ambassador with National Day Calendar. Today is American Beer Day. And it is Navy Day. Make sure that you go to nationaldaycalendar.com. And if you subscribe and comment on YouTube, you could just go to wherecindynow.com at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. You comment, you subscribe, and you share this very video either to LinkedIn or to Facebook. I'll give you a 5-night hotel. Simply go to 3nightgiveaway.com. Oh my God, guys. Woohoo! We got Bobby in the house. Thank you to Rocky McKinnon for introducing me to Bobby over at Lido Sports. So take it away. Tell your story.
Well, first I want to say Rocky's the man. So if you want to learn to surf or swim or anything, stand-up paddle, Rocky is the best. I even hire him for my business. So I'll get started. I was at 38 years old. I walked into Infinity Surfboard shop and I was body surfed and I loved the ocean, but had never surfed. And I boogie boarded a little bit, and the salesman was so good. Steve Bainey, he was the top tandem surfer in the world with his wife. And he told me how strong I was and how good I'd be. And he called his wife out that weighed 100 pounds, told me that I could be incredible, and I believed it. So I bought a board. So he was the best salesman in the world.
Wow.
I surfed, bought a board, found a partner, and started tandem surfing. I surfed every day, rain nor fall, wind, you name it. And I've never been the type of person to just follow the way everyone does it. I kind of find my own path. So I thought, you know what, I could get good at this and I could be sponsored. And I was so delusional, and I went out and I entered some contests and started winning a few of them. And at the end of the day, I could not make a living at it. And one day I did fly to Hawaii and I surfed in the Buffalo Big Board Championship.
Wow.
And I won it. And that was enough for me to believe that I could accomplish something in a sport. So I went home and I trained and entered every single contest in the nation. There was the World Longboard Tour, the Professional Longboard Tour. We didn't actually have a world championship at the time. Now the World Surf League has a longboard championship, but they don't go into tandem. It's one of those obscure sports. So I believed that I could get a sponsor, and nobody really was coming on board. I was getting shirts and shorts and toes in the nose and things like that. And at the end of the day, I got invited one day with some of the guys I met in Hawaii, and they said, hey, there's a big swell coming. Well, I was a little bit nervous of that because I hadn't surfed my whole life, but Daredevil was kind of the way I operate. So I flew to Hawaii. I surfed a big swell, and the photos went around the world, and I realized, maybe I need to not be traditional. And I think most people might understand it. Tandem surfing's been around since the Gidget days. But what I wanted to do was surf tandem. I wanted to surf the way anybody else could surf. And the boards were very big, flotation devices that you couldn't really surf. So
how big is it? Like
12'6".
Oh, yeah, because Rocky's is 14.
Yeah, those are stand-up paddle boards, correct? And surfing for working with the handicaps and soldiers and veterans. But so I started changing the board design and pulling the nose up, because when you're paddling out, you would lose ground, the way it would push you, and I wanted to spear through the waves. And it stepped on some toes because I came in the new guy with a fresh blood attitude, and I look back and I probably could have done it a little different, but it's not necessarily my style. I just went for it, pulled in the boards and started surfing big waves, and then the sponsors came. So Quicksilver had my back.
Quicksilver,
and they had my back, and it was pretty funny because I'd say, I want to go to Porto. and Danny Kwok was the
Puerto Escondido.
Yes, so he goes,
Hell yeah,
he goes,
Mexi pipe.
he goes, not gonna happen. You'll die. He goes, I'm not gonna be a part of it. So I said, Danny, come on, I can do this. I said, my boards will get in before it becomes Porto, the big heavy hollow wave.
Oh yeah.
So I'm lucky I didn't die. He was probably right, but we came home with photos and ammo, and at the end of the day, he goes, son of a bitch, excuse my language, but he goes, wow, it's incredible. And I started having fun, and I realized, okay, pipeline, why am I?
Wow.
So I had dreams, and I can look at it now. It's pretty delusional that I was, but somehow I didn't kill anybody, didn't kill myself, and I pulled it off, and great stories to tell the kids and grandkids and stuff like that. But
wow,
it was fun. So that led me to something. I became an expert at riding with a passenger on the board, like Rocky McKinnon. So I started volunteering with Surfers Healing, Waves of Impact.
Izzy.
Yeah, Surfers Healing, Waves of Impact. Yeah, Izzy's son socked me in the nose one time. He told me, just take him in the water, don't worry about it. He punched me. Big lover kid. But so I started volunteering for all these organizations, and I built relationships with veterans and kids with cancer, and I'd get Christmas cards with a kid was shaved, and all of a sudden next year I'd get the photo of the kid with curly red hair, and I'm like, oh my God, that's April.
How epic, right?
Yeah, or cystic fibrosis kids, and it really touched my heart. It changed my life. Actually, tandem surfing changed it in that way, because I got to experience, there's so many volunteers. Let's use Surfers Healing as an example. I'd be on the beach, and I got the fun job. I got patted on the back and told how good I was. But the truth was, it was the volunteers that were behind the scenes, putting the sunblock and the wetsuits and setting up the tables at 6 a.m. Those are the people that you got to respect, because my job was the fun job. I got the fun and the photos and all that. But at the end of the day, veterans came dear to my heart, because I could share a beer with the guys afterwards, talk story. They remind me to tell you the story about the Angel Stadium. So the veterans thing was dear to me, but I wouldn't see some vets for 3 years. And I'd go, what happened? Jaime. And Jaime'd go, you see, he has one leg here and one down here, like one below the knee and one at the hip. And he'd say, I had to work, and I'm like, oh. So life went on. I finished my career in tandem surfing. I moved back from Hawaii because I lived there for 20 years, to shorten the story. And I had an opportunity to take over a business in Lido Island called Lido Stand-Up Paddle. I was a little nervous to get back in the sun 7-8 hours a day. And I didn't think the business could be big enough to hire employees, but I was very wrong. I brought everything I learned in Hawaii, and free coconut waters and mango juice and picnic tables and barbecues. And I did what I do. I just went off, made this place so it was an extension of Hawaii. And people come down as families now, 3,300.
There you go, guys. Lido has that aloha spirit.
Yeah. So
Bobby's
3,300 via Lido, and it's Lido stand-up. That's all I need to do on that. So people come down as families now. They bring their dogs, their kids. We don't do contracts. If you're 15 minutes late paddling an hour, we're not taxing your contract. You come in, there's cold coconut and mango waiting for you. It is a really cool place. You can come down, whether it's a birthday party, a bachelor party, doesn't matter, bachelorette parties. We have every type of business parties there. So it's just a great place to come and cut loose. But at the end of the day, I took a few veterans out there paddling. From Rocky, I've seen photos of Rocky with these veterans and stuff on their boards. And at the end of the day, I thought, this is a great place. I don't have to do specialty permits. It's not something where they have to come down on the day I tell them at the time they want. They can come whenever they want, 7 days a week for free. So that's how Veterans Relief Foundation was born. And I'm so proud of it. We are very young and new. Nobody's paid. We have a board right now with 5 people on it. We've had 4 donations come in, and they were boards. We didn't want people's cash. We want to grow organically and slow. We can't fit people with prosthetics yet. We can't help people get an upgraded wheelchair or running legs. So we're in that stage that we're trying to find our direction, that we're building and growing. So we're reaching out to all different sort of companies and say, how can you help these veterans? And if you want to make a donation, great. It's vrfstrong.org. Like I said, but it's early right now. So the money that we got so far, we bought 4 boards, and we are so excited. There is some shipping situations right now, but our board should be here in March. So Rocky again has been so kind. Excuse me. Rocky has been so kind to loan us his oversized boards. He's just the man. So he has been so kind enough to loan us his oversized boards, and he's developed a new chair that you know about.
Yeah.
So people are just coming through for us, and the relationships you build, and you're talking story with these veterans, you'll never forget. I would like to tell one short story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we have 10 more minutes.
Okay, there was a veteran I took out in the water, and I was talking to him, and I was amazed because one leg was right at the hip. He didn't have a cheek, one side of the cheek, and he had one below the knee or above the knee. And after I took him out surfing, it wasn't at Veterans Relief Foundation. I took him out surfing like what Rocky does. And he got dressed and he put on his leg and he was getting the water out of his BVDs. And afterwards we're sitting at the table and he's wearing blue jeans and he's standing there. And I'm like, you can't even tell. And I go, that's amazing. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, it's incredible. Wow. And this was so cool. So I said, so does the leg ever fall off? And he goes, bro, I'm at the Angel Stadium. And am I allowed to say the S word? He goes, this girl's checking my shit. And I go, I just had to laugh. And he goes, and this guy hits my leg just wrong and my leg falls off. And I go, oh, what'd you do? He goes, I had to pull my pants down. And he goes, right in front of her. And, he goes, and I go, so you got to wear really good looking underwear. And he goes, exactly. And you build relationships with these guys. So at the end of the day, I just always love that story. And it's a big part of our life. So Lido Paddle Sports has worked a deal. I'm only one of the board members, so it's not my business. Jeff Combs is the one that helps me grow. We work together. Yeah. So we're building our board. But at the end of the day, it's really a fun thing, and it's a positive thing. Guys come down. Like I said, we have barbecues, picnic tables. We cook hot dogs. So any veterans that you know or their family or someone that's struggling in any way, and veterans is our home run, but it doesn't have to be a veteran. If you just know somebody that needs a boost, send them down. It's free. 7 days a week, Veterans Relief Foundation, hosted by Lido Paddle Sports, makes it available that they can come down and enjoy themselves. So I'm very proud of it.
Well, let's talk about my story. I actually was there in July. So I've had 2 lessons with Rocky, and I've also had a paddleboard lesson. So he's actually the one that connected me to.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, I actually call it the Midway, his 14-footer.
Oh,
how cool that is.
I love it. I didn't know how it was going to work. We strapped a wheelchair to it, and the guy was paddling around. God, I should have supplied you with a photo. But it's just the funnest thing ever to watch. The guy kept saying the freedom of not having to have somebody on the board with me. He was paddling by himself. I was about 5 feet from him in case something went wrong. Yeah. But nothing went wrong, and it was just incredible. I'll never forget it.
So let's talk about some shout outs. Let's go with Rocky first. Tell everybody about Rocky McKinnon.
One of the most giving people I've ever met in my life, truthfully.
Definitely.
When I told him I need a board before I even had Veterans Relief, I need a board. There's a handicapped kid. He came through. When I said I have a veteran that wants to come down, he stopped everything he's doing and comes down. So I just need to be more human beings like him. That's all I could say is I want to be Rocky.
And also a big plug to his son, Hendrix. When I took my lesson, actually, both of them were holding the board. And
he's the Rocky.
I love surfing. I love skydiving, but the paddleboarding was really cool as well. It's just right there in Newport, and it's a beautiful, picturesque background. And it's great for anybody who wants to mark off their SoCal bucket list. So talk a little bit more about Lido on how they need to mark that off.
Well, the shopping stores are right there. You come down the Newport Freeway, and once you pass Pacific Coast Highway, you hang left on Via Lido, and there's a beautiful little beach. The beach isn't ours, but we have a small part of the beach that you rent it from us, and you just launch it right onto the state or city beach. But it's right next to shopping, right next to sushi, right next to everything you could ever want. And it's just a beautiful beach. So if you go to the right, you're going around the bridge. If you go to the left, you're going through these beautiful homes with no wind. So even on the windiest days, everybody comes and paddles to the left. If it's not windy, they paddle to the right around the island, but it's stunning. I mean, you get to see how the wealthy live, you know.
Exactly.
You paddle around, you're like, oh my God, you know.
Well, you know my story. I'm not really a swimmer, and I've actually surfed twice.
Not really or not?
Not really. But I get out there. I could swim in the pool. My friend Lee's here. I just want to do a big shout out to Lee. Thank you, Lee, for always inspiring me to get out at your pool and start swimming. And of course, Rocky is always saying, get out there and swim, girl. So who do you want to refer for swimming lessons?
Lexi. I
Lexi.
mentioned
Wow.
her. She's somebody I met where she was working with these kids, and she works with the junior lifeguard program.
Awesome.
And just like Rocky, we give lessons at our facility for stand-up paddle, but I needed some help on a holiday weekend. I wrote Rocky down, and my lessons were nothing compared to his lessons. Well, the same in swimming. Lexi, I'm going to introduce you to her.
Nice.
But she works with children, with adults, but if you can't swim, she'll have you swimming. So I'm gonna introduce you to her, and I think you're really gonna like her.
So I want to introduce you to Lee Love. I'll connect you later. She's actually the founder of the Surf City Splash. So it happens every single New Year on New Year's Day at noon. And so there's like 500 or so of us running into the ocean. And Rocky actually is on the Stingray Patrol. So just want to do a quick plug about
Stingray Patrol.
He is.
Well, 500 people, the Stingrays are probably running.
But a couple years ago, when was it? 18? Yeah, I think in one day there was I think over 80 stingrays.
You can drag your feet all day long, but sometimes when you get many people, you're covering a lot of square footage.
Exactly. So we have a few more minutes. Any other shout outs and a call to action, any kind of specials that you have?
You know, truthfully, we're looking at doing some things here. Starting March, we're talking about having some small, we can't call it an exact 10K, but we're going to paddle around the island to raise funds so that we can buy equipment and have barbecues and things like that. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I used to volunteer for some of the larger nonprofits, and I'd see, you know, some things I didn't like. They just grow too big, and you just, even like Red Cross, you just don't know. They're so big, you don't know where your money's going. We don't want to be like that. We want everybody, to be very transparent. We just want everybody to know that we're going to grow organically. Nobody's going to make money. We're hoping to change people's lives. And I know after a few of the veterans I've taken out already with Rocky's board in the wheelchair, this is the right thing to do.
And I want to actually find ways to pay it forward. So I'm actually a travel agent by trade, and I'm connected to this company called Viator, where you could actually do an excursion. So we could actually partner on that, where you can become a supplier with Viator. And then I would send my friends a link. And then so we're actually piggyback off each other and kind of paying it forward that way.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So let's see if we have any questions. Lee's heading out to the pool. And so we have about 3 minutes left.
I'm going to challenge you to something.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you tandem surfing.
What?
Yes. Since Rocky's got you in the water, I can take you on a wave. And
I'm a whitewash warrior, though.
Not with me, you won't be. No, we'll take you somewhere like San Onofre. We'll meet there. If you're taking the challenge, there'll be a day. You'll see the footage of her.
I had to ask my coach first.
You ask Rocky, and I know Rocky will say, with Bobby, yes. That's my guess.
So is he going to be there to support?
Rocky,
cheer me on?
Yeah, without a question. Yeah, he loves you. So at the end of the day, if you wanted Rocky there, he'd be there as water patrol. But the wave is a soft, mellow wave. You don't have to get up right away. We paddle together, and you just stand up and.
Oh, so no fancy little
I put
like
ocean. There'd be a little. Even though I'm getting older, I still got a little bit left in the tank.
Oh, so tell everybody about tandem surfing that you back in the day, in Hawaii.
I just did it a little different. You know, there are so many phenomenal athletes out there. Steve and Barry were the founders, in my opinion, in this sport. A neat story was Linda Benson. She's a very famous longboarder. I ran into a photo of her, and she was, I believe she was 18 years old, and she was like Gidget.
Thank you, Lee.
They had a Gidget, but she was basically, to me, she was the Gidget. She was a great longboarder. She lived and slept down in Malibu Beach and all that. So I got to know her in my career, and I asked her one day, and she was about 50 something years old, if we could tandem surf together. And I saw that photo of her when she's 18, and she said, "Oh, I'm out of shape." And I said, "Come on, Linda, let's do it." And she didn't do it. And at 70 years old, Linda started stand-up paddling.
Woohoo!
She started stand-up paddling. She'd lost, I don't know how much. It's like something I shouldn't know, but she lost a ton of weight. And I ran into her. I go, "Oh my God, Linda." And she was 70. And she goes, "I know. And this is all from stand-up paddle." So I said, "Linda, let's get her done." She goes, "Okay." So it was very
Wow.
special to me. So at 7 years old, we went out and she stood on my shoulders. And I had told her, when you get up there, own it. And she's got this photo of her with her hands in the air and she owned it. And I have that photo. I'll never forget it. Photo of her with Hobie Alter, photo of her with me 50 years apart. And that's a very special moment compared to everything I've done. It's one of my favorite moments in the sport. But just Google, YouTube, tandem surfing, and I'll come up, Bobby Friedman, and you'll kind of see I've enjoyed it over the years, had a good time. I'm lucky I didn't die. There was some pipeline in Tahiti involved in some of the stupid things I did. And
Wow.
I look back now and I definitely had a screw loose. So I still do.
Well, we're at 20 minutes. So do you have any call to action? Well, let's talk about some of the things that just for like 1 minute, because we need to close out. But if anybody wants to lose weight, and Rocky has told me this, and Bobby's going to tell you the same, start paddleboarding. It's all in your core. So kind of tell my audience about that.
Well, I'll make it out. Anybody that's part of this, you come down with Rocky McKinnon, you're paddling for free on your very first time. So get a hold of Rocky, set it up. Don't be scared of it. Let Rocky teach you how to stand up paddle and come to my beach, and I'm gonna get you out there for free. So that's a little offer for you if you like. And if you know a veteran or somebody that's struggling and they just need a boost in their life, send them down 3,300 via Lido. Veterans Relief, if you want to help us get more boards, we're trying to get enough boards so that we can have water polo matches in 4 feet of water with the wheelchair boards. So vrfstrong.org. We appreciate any of the help. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be $10, $5, and you just go online, and that's really it.
Well, awesome. I'm going to close out the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Wow. And yeah, so he's going to be on our show in December, and starting every single month, we're going to talk about a different thing that's related to his Lido Sports rentals. It's going to be so amazing. And actually, also next month is National Aviation History Month, guys. Oh my God. I got the Yak 110 coming. I got the Leakster. He was a F-14 pilot. And you guys need to check it out. Make sure that you get a Bucket List Coach web show live. You're going to subscribe. You're going to comment on YouTube. And if you share this very video on LinkedIn and Facebook, I will gift you a 5-night giveaway. And next on the show, I have my friend Matilda at 2:00 Pacific. We're talking all about Conquer Peru. Ciao, baby. Woohoo!
Thank you, everybody.
Shaka.